Welcome back. I've said it before. Scammers don't care about your gender, your sexual orientation, your education, your political leaning, religion. None of that matters. The same tactics were used on my next guest, Viola Barker. It's the same ones used on most other victims, and you'll hear the same playbook that was used. My goal is to help everyone start recognizing these patterns that play out over and over again, so you already know where the conversation is headed before they lead you down that path. So, first there's the cold call. Out of the blue, somebody reaches out. Then there's mirroring. The scammer tries to get to know you by asking lots of questions about you. You, on the other hand, think they're really interested in you, and it seems nice that somebody actually wants to know about you and your life. But what's really happening is that they are only gathering intel on you so that they know how to play you later on, to see how receptive you might be to their game. Next, an offer of friendship in which they'll typically give you a sympathetic backstory about themselves that really tugs at your heartstrings. There may be a short phone call or video call, but after a few sessions, texting is the overwhelming choice of communication. Then, within a short time span, the beginning of the love bombing and the future faking, overwhelming you with attention, kindness, and love. But they don't stop with just saying, I love you. They create a fantasy relationship, a marriage, a perfect future together. Then the Ben Franklin effect kicks in. This effect says that it makes the one doing the favor like and trust the receiver of the favor more, even though it would seem to be the opposite. Then comes isolation and secrecy. As you listen to her story, test yourself. See how many patterns you recognize. Here's my interview with Viola. She didn't want to be on camera, so if you're watching this on the video, there's nothing wrong with your screen. Hi, everybody. Today I have a guest, Viola Barker from Ohio. This lady was married for a long, long time. She got divorced and decided that she needs to live her truth, which means that she has realized that she is gay. So once she got divorced, she did join an online lesbian group in Ohio. So we're going to listen to her story. And Viola, thank you so much for being with me today. Can you start off by just telling us a little bit about that, your background, and then how you were first contacted by your scammer?
Okay. Well, I was married to a man for 49 years, and I divorced him back in 2014 because I had the feeling all my life that I was a lesbian, and it turns out that that's where my life is ending up to. And I was able to go on Facebook and just get into a group, like you said, and just talk with some of the other females that this has happened to and how life has turned out. And I was able to join them. They accepted me to join. And one day I was just out with a friend, and I got from Messenger, I got a friend request from this certain person that wanted to be my friend. And it was like, well, I really didn't trust, but I didn't have no friends. I was kind of living an isolated life, staying by myself, and I didn't even have a dog to take care of me. So I thought, yeah, what the heck? So I hit her, said yes, and we started talking. And she told me that she was in the military, that she took care of dogs. And I thought, oh, that was the greatest thing because I just love dogs. And so we hit it off real good with talking about dogs. And then she told me about being in the service. And I told her, I guess I should say is she asked a lot of questions about my life. Or she wanted to know, what do you work or do you have many friends and what's your daily routine and things like this. And it's like, oh, I thought, well, that's really nice of her to, ask about this. She's somebody I don't know. And come to find out, she was like 20 years younger than me too. So it was a big age difference. And I told her right from the start, I'm a lesbian. And I said, I am 68 years old. oh, that's okay. That's just a number. And I'm a lesbian too. I just lost my partner and, and blah, 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 went on with the story. And I felt sorry for her, right? So I thought, oh, this will be nice to have a friend, somebody in the army, and especially with the dogs. That could learn so much. If I was to get a dog, maybe she could help me train mine too. So we just chit-chatted for a while, and it probably went on for 3 or 4 days.
And what year was that started? Sorry.
That started in actually this year. Well, this last year, 2025.
Okay.
Back in probably August, around that way, we got talking, and she just said how hard her life was, and she wanted to be a good soldier because her father was a soldier over in Germany, and blah blah blah. We went on. She made me feel sorry for her, and I accepted her as a friend. And it just all the sympathy, my heart went out to this poor girl, this poor person. She has nobody, no family to talk to. She said she had a half sister, but she never talked to her because the sister didn't like her because she was a lesbian. So anyway, so we just chit chatted. And then one day she came, and she would always work late. I never understood this. In the Army, she would work like 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and she wouldn't get off till like 6, 7 o'clock at nighttime. And she had to, I just thought that was very strange. But
And where's she located, supposedly?
supposedly she was in Missouri. She was in Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. She was a dog trainer there. And so I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. And well, it sounds like it would be a job. And so anyways, she was doing a project for her commander with certain dogs that she had to make. These dogs had to do certain things. And so she was putting together the training program for these dogs to do it. But the computer she had was old, and she needed a newer one, and one that for games that you could play games on. And I said, oh, well, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry it doesn't work. But I said, won't the Army buy you that? Because you hear all these stories about, oh, the Army, I needed this, and so they went and got me this and this and that. And she said, no, that they cut the money to her unit, that they're not allowed to get any money or buy anything. And I said, oh, well, I'm sorry about that. So she was going on, yeah, it's not your fault. I just have to learn to do this and blah, blah, blah. And so, dummy me, oh, what kind of computer do you want? I said, you can go on Amazon and find me one that you want. And so, okay, so I'm thinking, $2,000, $2,100, that would be it.
Well, you offered. She didn't ask, you offered.
Correct. I have to admit that. Yes, I have to admit that. She did. I did offer. And so she goes, oh, well. And so she was gone for a while, and she came back, and I'm thinking, okay, well, it was $3,500, and it was like, woo, okay, you sure that's the one that you need? Yeah. And then I need this and this and this to go with it. And it's like, I think it ended up being close to $5,000, but it was like, okay, well, anything I can do to help you, because like I said, I felt sorry for her, and she's in the world all by herself, supposedly, and all the help she could get, she would really appreciate. So that went on, and I did that, but come to find out, well, then I felt so sorry for her. I said, well, let me get you a few other things, So I had a couple care packages sent up, but the care packages had to be sent to Georgia, and she was in Missouri.
Missouri. Is that odd?
Yeah, I thought, no, but that doesn't make sense. Oh no, that's the way we do it because everything's secret here. It's secret. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's secret, all right. Well, then once the packages got to where they were supposed to be going, she needed another $3,000, and that's where the Bitcoin thing came in. And well, if you can get the money and you can find a Bitcoin ATM somewhere around you. I looked all over. Okay, little places I never thought would have an ATM machine, like a bar or an old gas station or something. Yeah. So I found that, got the money, sent it to her, And then everything was okay. You know, oh yeah, they got the money, so now they're going to ship the package from Georgia to me here, and I'll have it. Thank you so much. That was so nice of you. You know, that's like $8,000. But you know, here I didn't care because I wanted to help her, and so blah blah blah. Things went on, and I never did hear that she got the stuff, but she come then. It was that's when the vault or her uncle got a hold of her on a Sunday, and he lives in London, England, and he says that he's been watching this vault or was supervising this vault, that her parents had things saved for her, like some diamonds and some rubies and some art, some fancy art too, you know, and we'll just be rich forever, you know, we can have the happy life, it'll be great. But, you know, I have to make you, me, meaning me, trustee of it, and they want to know where to deliver. And I told them to deliver to your house. And so we have to find the closest airport because it's going to be shipped from Europe to Ohio. And then when I get out, you know, we'll meet up and we'll get it. We'll have the best life that we can. And it's like, okay, that sounds really great. So, you know, they need this. They needed like a driver's license. They needed some papers and my address and the address of the airport. So got that all taken care of. And then that's when things kind of went nasty with my bank, because when I was able to find out how much money that we had to have it shipped to where it was like, oh, I can't believe that much money. And people were telling me that to open a vault up and stuff, there's no money. It doesn't cost anything. It's just the relative is there, opens it up, and that's it. Then they take it.
Is that like a safety deposit box over here?
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking a big vault was something really big and they had to ship it over, you know, on a truck and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, once I looked into it and things, yeah, I believe it was like a safety deposit box with different
telling
things.
You that
Yep.
they needed a ton of money to
Yep.
send it over.
Yeah, they needed like $50,000 for this, $30,000 for this, and $3,000. It ended up being about, I think it was $84,500 to ship it over, and you can have the time of your life, and you'll have a great life. You know, you'll be rich, and you both will live happily ever after. Well, but she was still in the Army, wasn't getting out of the Army until I believe like the end of this year, right now, 2026. She had one more year, and then she could retire. But yeah, that's kind of the story. And then the things that happened with my bank wasn't too good. So when you get kicked out of your bank that you've been banking in for 50 years, that's pretty bad, I guess.
Now, what did you do with the bank that made them unhappy with you?
The bank. Yes. Okay. That's when I went in there, and what it was some money that I was able to get from my retirement, of course, when I was a factory worker, and I worked at a place for 38 years, and they moved the shop to another place, but I had enough time and I could retire. So anyways, but I started my 401k back in like 1981. So it was a pretty good bite of stuff. So it was like, okay, I'll see if I can get it. Well, I was able to get that money, and I had it to my bank. Well, when I told my bank what I wanted to do with the money, they were like, oh no, you can't do that. And I said, yes, I can. It's my money, you know, and I was told this is where, oh no, that's a scam. I said, well, how do you know it's a scam? You know, well, because that's what we do. We're the bank. And I said, no, I was told to get a cashier's check. Yeah, a cashier's check and mail it to this bank. And I had all the information. It was in Utah, and had all the information down, and see the information, and to ship it there. And they told me they couldn't do that they had to do a wire the money.
Wire transfer.
Yes, a wire transfer.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, we'll do a wire transfer, because I said, it's got to go. And so the man gave me a hard time. He goes, you know, once this money is gone, you're not getting it back. I go, it's okay. It's my friend. I'm helping her out. This is going to be great. No, this is a scam. No. So he did it, and I left the bank, and about 20 minutes later, the fraud department called me from this particular bank that I was dealing with. And it's like, okay. He goes, well, you really should get this money back. He says, this is a fraud. This is nothing but a scam. We know about these people and they have done it before. And I said, seriously? And he goes, yes, this is, and he says, and time is of the essence. You have got to get it back now. Tell me to get it back, and I will try to see what I can to get it back. I said, okay, well then get it back then. And I guess just before the people were going to collect the check, this bank, the fraud department, did get the money back, and they pulled it back, and then there was no money there at that bank for these people to get that vault and ship it over here to us.
Was this just one time that you dealt with a bank for this wire transfer and then they kicked you out? Just one
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, they said that this bank particularly did not want to be involved with any scam, be hooked to any scam whatsoever.
Yeah.
I said, okay, whatever, I'm okay, I'm out. And then they told me what to do about getting help. Well, the one lady at the bank told me, and I ended up going to the sheriff's department, making out a report of everything that has happened. And then when the detective got a hold of, he came here and talked with me, and I explained to him everything that happened. So he did subpoenas to the bank because every time when I'd call, they didn't know anything about the money. They were not sure what was going to happen with it. You might get it back, you might not get it back. You might get it back or you might. Well, where is it? No, we don't know where it's at. So, okay. But I think my opinion is his subpoenas that said, we're going to find this money. We just want to know where the money is, and it's her money. She should get it back. 3 days later, FedEx showed up with a check at my door, and there was the money that came from the bank. That was
From the Utah bank?
no, this one was from my particular bank
Okay.
that the money came from first.
So it never got to the Utah bank.
Well, it was there for maybe a seconds, yeah,
Okay.
but maybe seconds or minutes or whatever.
Okay.
That's what I do, and I thanked him for even. I still think it was the subpoenas, but somebody told me they figured it was. Yeah, the subpoenas, it looked like it was going to raise a little bit of hell with the bank, and the bank didn't want to get involved with that too. So they just said the insurance, that they have insurance on the money for like $100,000, that they just paid me that money out of that insurance part is what some people told me. So, yeah.
Probably checked with mine. I mean, it was a lot more than yours, but I at least did a check.
I know, and I feel really bad, talking with you about it because how dumb was I? I was so shameful, shame of myself that, I wanted to hide again.
Yeah.
I just.
So tell me about the crypto ATM thing. How did that get presented to you? And how much money did you have to put into that horrible machine?
Okay, that machine is horrible just to find the things, okay? And it's like spooky people that run it too. I mean, you go in there and it's like, oh man, I hate to be in here by myself and they don't want to help you. They don't want to help you. They don't know anything about the machines. Exactly, nothing at all. And I said, okay. And I had to have the money, but then I wanted to get it all done. It was for $3,000. I wanted to get it all done at one time. Well, when you first go, they only take a certain amount. Like, I think it was maybe $1,900. It was all it would take. So then I had to go back another day and do the rest of the money to equal the $3,000. But, they were so happy they got their money back or they got their money, period. And it was great. Now I get to get my package and, life is going to be wonderful. And then they hit me with the vault thing that, Uncle such and such, he has been watching this vault for my parents, and my parents left this to me, and I'm going to share it with you, and we're just going to have such a great, happy life. And it's like, it sounds too good to be true, but heck, you talk to me, but the money thing, that's the thing. I mean, when, like you said, when they start asking for money, that's when you got to get out of there as quick as you can.
Well, I'm gonna, I am gonna be an advocate for early pattern recognition. So
Yeah.
before you even start getting the love bombs, because you got love bombed, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Right at
And
right.
then the in between the love bombs, you guys were still talking. And did she paint you a picture, a picture of what your life was going to be like?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
And give
Yeah.
you, we're gonna travel or we're gonna do this or we're gonna
Oh,
do that.
oh yeah. Yeah.
And
She had a dream one night that we went out to eat dinner and we were in over in Italy. We were eating dinner at some big fancy restaurant and out by the ocean, and then we were just gonna travel here and there and just have a great time. And it's like, oh, that sounds really nice. That'd be nice. And we're gonna dogs, we can go live someplace and we can have as many dogs as we want and blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah, I got hit with that. I should have known right then and there. But
no.
they just play on your sympathy so much that
Well, yeah, they really kind of attack your brain with all of these feel good hormones that
oh God, yeah,
as long as they keep talking to you and giving you these options for your new life,
yes, yes,
I mean, who wants to give that up once you
right.
see it?
That's
So
true.
you can envision it and you feel so happy and
Oh, tickled, yes, tickled, just
nobody
happy
wants
as
to give that
right,
up.
right. And it's like, oh, Viola, my goodness, you should have been smarter than that. But like you said, it did that. I guess those drugs in your brain, it just takes over and says, oh, honey, you are in for the time of your life, and just sit back, enjoy, but pay money, but we'll be okay.
Yeah, and you are for the time of your life, just not how you thought it was
Yeah,
gonna be.
exactly. That's true.
So,
That's
so how long did it take her from your introductions and the love bombing? How long did that last until she first started, saying, "Oh, I don't have any money. I really need a new computer." Yada yada.
yeah,
How long was that?
I think that was either about 3 or 5 days. She really hit kind of soon.
That
Yeah.
fast?
Yeah, it was pretty soon.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
yeah, it was pretty soon because I'm thinking, at first we were just chit chatting, and then then oh, you got work to do. You got to do that project with the dogs, and you don't have a computer, and it's like, well, and my little voice is telling me, don't offer, don't offer, don't offer, but my heart says, oh, come on, she's young, she just yet, and she's in the army and needs help, so give her help, but.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
army
it was.
doesn't pay their people, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, and then the other funny thing was, and everybody told me this was wrong. I asked her what her rank was, and she said she was a private first class.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay. And I told that to people, and they go, that's bullshit. If she's been in the army for 40 years, which supposedly she has been, um, if she doesn't get after her first year away from private first class, they kick her out of them. They kick you out of the army. I didn't know that, but yeah, that's what I was told. It's like I learned something new every day. So
Yeah.
I said that to her when I talked back, and she says, "Oh, those people don't know what they're talking about." I said, "Well, it wasn't people that told me." I said, "I Googled it." Oh, well, Google, they get asked questions all the time, and they're always wrong. Things are always changing. I'm going, no, it's not. And that's when I tried to play along with her, for a little bit, but then it hurt so bad that it just messed up my mind so much more that I said, that's it. I can't do it no more.
So when did you start suspecting that things were off?
Mm.
Was it before you gave that big amount of money, or was it during, after?
I'm gonna say it was during that money because it was all, or she would pump me up when I went to the bank to send it, like you can go in there, and you be strong, you be the strong woman that I know you are, and just tell them this is what you want done, and go in there and make noise and be no. I mean, I went in there and tried, and they go, no, we can't do that. We just can't. No, they sent me to another bank Well, it's the same, but a different branch. And I talked to another lady who was very, very nice with me. She was very nice and said, "But you got to realize this is a scam. We know these people. They are a scam." I go, "No, I know her. She's my friend." And no, no, I'm sorry, but we don't want to be involved with anything like that. And then while I was talking to her, another lady called me from the bank and said, "We would like you to take all your money out of our bank right now." And I said, "Oh, so you're kicking me out?" "Yes, we are." I said, "Okay, well, I mean, they're in to make business." Oh, and that's what I got told when I told them, the scammers, and they said, "Oh, they don't have any love. They don't know any love, and they're sad, and you know what? And that was your money, and you could do whatever you want to do with it, and blah 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 blah." And
Yes, you can take it out of my bank.
yeah, I said they kicked me out. They kicked me
Yeah.
out of my bank.
Yeah,
Oh.
I got that too. So but my bank kept sending them money. They didn't stop,
Oh.
I mean, even though I was sending hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
times, they questioned it. I had to talk to the fraud department, but then in the end they sent it. So,
Wow.
but in the end they kicked me out too. So,
Yeah.
so it's, oh gosh, it's crazy. So,
Yes, it is.
and then, so how long did your relationship last? When did you start pulling away from them?
Oh, right then. And let's see. I pulled away probably when the money, came, when they didn't get the money and they were asking, what's going on, and we really need you to talk. And then supposedly it was her that came back and said, you have to see what you're going to do. I said, they told me I have to wait 30 days and I'll hear. Well, 30 days isn't that long. It'll be okay. And so then I kept talking with her for a little bit, but we didn't talk like we talked in the beginning. It was just, oh yeah, well, I have to go here, I have to go there, and okay, well, we'll talk later. So we'll talk later. So they were short communications, but I was trying to get away, because I didn't want to talk to her anymore because she's fake, and it's not even a woman that I'm talking to. So,
And did she sent you a picture, right, of her?
oh yeah,
Did you
Yeah.
ever talk to her on the phone?
no.
Never?
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I think there was 2 times, but it was only for like 2 minutes, and then we couldn't talk no more. Yeah, it was, I'll talk to you, but okay, what about how are you doing? This is great, and I love talking to you, and we're having a great time. Okay, now let's go back and text. And then we text.
Did she have an accent?
No accent. No, she was
That
American.
was AI, and they could only keep it going for so long or something.
Yeah, because why would you, why? And then what was it? She told me just before I stopped with her, she said, "Hey, babe," she says, "this is a payphone that I'm calling you on, and it's really costing a lot of money because you're texting me a lot." And I said, "Well, okay, then I just won't text you, anymore as often." And she said, "Well, yeah, I would appreciate it. Maybe you could go to," what was it? She wanted me to do Teams, and I had gotten away from Teams. I'd gotten away from Facebook. I'd gotten away from Messenger and all that stuff. And I said, "No, I can't do Teams anymore. I can't." She goes, well, why? Just come, and then when I get ready, we can video chat with each other. And I said, "Well, I don't think so because I'm not going back to Teams." And I said, that's when I kind of got pissed, and I said, "Well, I can't talk with you anymore. I got to go. This is it." And then after that, I made that long message up telling her, "You're fake. You're fake, and I don't want anything to do with you. Stay away from me. Don't contact me, and things are fine." Well, like I've told you before, I get every once in a while, it's about time, probably sometime this week, it'll be, "Hey, babe, we got to fix this," and it's like, no, I'm not answering. I'm not doing anything. It just comes across the phone, and I even got a new phone and changed the number, but I still have the old number.
Now, didn't she sort of push back on you and try and make you feel guilty for trying to kick her out
Oh,
of your
yes.
life?
Yes, she did. Yes, for getting rid of her. Yeah. How dare I? How could I ruin everything that we had? We didn't have shit. I was the one that was given, and
Yeah.
you just broke me. I can't trust anybody. And I said, well, join the thing, because I'm sure as hell ain't going to trust anybody after all this going on. Oh, but you know what? We had such a great time. We loved each other. It's like, no, it wasn't. It was one-sided all the time. She never ever, sure, she sent me pictures of this person, but I asked for pictures in her dress uniform. Isn't that like a fancy picture that you would send, to family and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh no, she didn't have any. She didn't have any. And it's like, well, that's kind of strange. And then I'm wondering if these pictures that she sent me too were like AI. You know what I mean? Maybe they was somebody standing there and they put her face on them or something. I mean, anything's possible.
So, and another thing that I found interesting when we were talking earlier is that you said that she was 20 years younger than you. So that was
Yes.
her in her 40s,
Yes,
but she had been in the military for 40 years.
exactly. Well, I figured out it. Let's see, when was something to do with 85. I should have wrote that down. But yeah, that's what she said. She only had one more year to then she had 40 years in and she was going to get out. So she said she got in it right out of high school, and I'm thinking she was born in 85. So who knows? I mean, I'm trying to make it so that it was right, that she was real.
Yeah.
And she
Oh, yeah.
and not, I'm just telling myself, oh yeah, okay, we'll figure this out. And here, okay, she was born here and she lived here. Well, I was trying to get her to tell me what high school she graduated for so that I could get a yearbook, go online and get a yearbook. And she told me the name of the high school, because when I looked up where she lived, there was like 3 different high schools in the area.
Were any of them the name that she gave you?
Yeah, actually there was,
Was there?
but there was no pictures. There was nothing there. So,
She didn't go there because she
exactly. Right.
lying.
Well, she's not even alive. It's not even a person.
Yeah. I mean, did you find yourself when you were in the throes of the relationship just twisting everything to
Sure.
make it so that
Yeah.
it was real,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
you kind of knew that it wasn't?
Right. Oh yeah. Totally. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, there are
Sorry.
some things, there are mistakes that these people make, and some of them they just kind of have to change on the fly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and kind of reinvent their story as they go along because they figure out it doesn't match. Like,
Right.
did you ever question her about why do you say you're 40, but you've been in the military for 40 years? Did you ever do the math on that before?
Yeah. I thought I had it figured out I figured out that that's what she said was the truth. It
Okay.
wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Even though there's no way it could be true.
Right. Right. It's like, oh, Viola, oh, come on already. Open your eyes up, and you just want it to be real, I think. I mean, who, somebody who cares about you, somebody who's asking, how did your day go? What did you do? Wants to know, but they want to know for a reason. They don't want to know like being nice and saying,
Because
oh,
they care.
yeah, exactly. There
Yeah.
is no care unless you send the money, and then
Right,
more
right.
money. Then we want more money and more money.
So what was your last communication with? Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know that. So the whole thing, did you say only lasted like a couple of months?
Yes, about maybe 4 months.
4 months. Okay.
Yeah, because I talked to her. She sent me some stuff in October, and I didn't answer back October. So it probably went from July to, I'm going to say, the end of September.
And
And-
then once you kind of cut things off with her,
Mhm.
she sent you something in the mail. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, first it was a text. You get the text like, "Oh, are you there? I really care about you. I love you. I miss you. And what's going on with you?" And didn't answer it. So then, when I was talking with the detective, and I told him about it. He goes, well, let's just answer. I said, can I like scam the scammer? Tank. So he goes, yeah, he was sitting here. And so we talked, and she said, I need you to go check your mailbox. And I said, I don't feel like going outside. I'm not going to go check my mailbox. Mailbox is like 1,000 feet from the house, and I didn't feel like walking.
Yeah.
And she, oh no, I sent you something very special. And I said, what could you send me special? And so after I got done talking with her, then I walked down there, and it was like, there was an envelope, and she sent me wedding rings. Wasn't that nice? Real pretty looking wedding rings. And then I got back with her, and I said, well, what was I supposed to get? Because I said there was nothing in the mail. I didn't tell her that I received the wedding rings at all. I never ever told.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, not even today. I didn't tell.
Oh, cool.
And so I looked at him, and it's like, oh, I didn't want to touch him. So I got a hold of the sheriff's detective, and he said, okay, well, we'll take them and we'll test them to see if they're real. Because I thought they were so pretty, but fake, costume jewelry, that if it was somebody's ring, maybe they can get back to them, because it really looked nice. So he came and got it, and then she wrote back and said she sent the rings, and she said she sent a bunch of papers that's going to show me that she's legit, that all this is legit, and then a big bunch of flowers she was sending to me. Well, didn't get anything but the fake ring. And as a matter of fact, they took and had it tested and couldn't get anything of it, and no fingerprints off the envelope or anything, and asked me if we wanted them back. And I said, yeah, because I'm going to take the check that I got back and these rings, and I'm going to frame them and put them up to remind me that a lot of people are fake, and this is what can happen. Yeah. So that was a real, I mean, everybody got a laugh out of it. And another thing that we noticed when you said, when they type things and they make mistakes and stuff, a lot of their grammar is like totally wrong. I mean, they don't spell right. And when they say I, it's a small I, or I'll, it'll be small I that with the two L's then, like that. And it's like, you people. And the last one that I got was supposedly from one of her friends. His name was Jeff, and he is a good friend of Mildred's, and she said you're her spouse. So I thought I'd be a good friend and reach out to you, that I am such a good friend. And it was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? I don't know. It's just stupid stuff that they're sending now, just little bits and stuff. But I'll tell you,
if he's her friend, then you should trust her.
Evidently. But because, see, she lost her phone on patrol. She lost it on patrol. What person that has 40 years in the Army is going to be out on midnight patrol or any patrol at all? I was told the people that are close to retirement, they can have the cushiest job that they want because they're going to be gone, and they just went, and it's like, some of the stuff that they're coming up with it's kind of funny and sad in a way.
Well,
It's sad now because I'm more mad than I am sympathy wise, want to cry about it, because believe me, I did. You know what? This was worse for me than my divorce. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth. I missed this more than, it was nice, I guess, to get rid of him and all the problems and shit.
But now that you came into your own, you wanted, a real relationship with somebody that you thought you could fall in love with.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is what you're telling me is such a classic example of what so many people go through.
Okay.
And they do the same things. There's a real pattern to all of this.
Okay.
And we just need to alert people to what those patterns are. And one of them is just calling you out of the blue or getting a hold of you out of the blue.
Yeah, I agree.
They make it so simple to just want to be your friend.
Yeah, right.
But really, if we think critically about some of these things, how many people like us would go scouring the internet to find some random person,
right,
to try and be friends with. I mean, you don't know
Yeah.
anything about that person. And
Correct.
would you do that? I wouldn't do that. I mean,
No.
I'm
No.
sure there are some, and maybe the ones that are on dating websites, that's kind of what they're for.
Yeah.
You can find somebody. But
Okay.
people who are not on dating websites,
Yeah.
don't randomly just go and get on a website and look for people. That's creepy.
Yes.
It's
Very.
not only creepy, it's the only people who do it are manipulators or desperados.
Yeah. Right.
You're
Right.
like totally desperate. And I don't think that any normal, people would try that, but that's
Okay.
what happens all the time. And
Yeah.
it catches us by surprise,
By
the
surprise.
victim, and it's kind of like, oh, somebody wants to be my friend. That's
Exactly.
great. So
Yes. Right.
we can all use more friends, right?
Right. 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 But not that kind of friend, right?
Not
Yeah.
that kind of friend.
Yeah.
So I think that we just are living in a different world than we grew up in.
Yes.
And
Most-
we have to adapt to the current times, which means now instead of our brains thinking, oh, this is a possible friend,
Yep.
no, this is definitely a scammer unless you prove otherwise.
Exactly.
So that's my takeaway from all of this. What would you like people to know about how this all happened to you and what you wish you knew beforehand?
Well,
So many things, right?
yeah, there's so many. The biggest thing is like what everybody says, it's the honest to God's truth. If it sounds too good to be true, if it sounds like a dream thing, it's not. If it's too good to be true, it is not true at all. If it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true. There's just so many terrible people out there doing this, and you gotta really, really pay attention. Don't let them make your brain feel happy. And I just all I can say is, yeah, I wish I was a little bit not smarter, but not as gullible or not as lonely. I guess because I think that the loneliness is the biggest thing. Because if you're getting a friend or somebody to talk to whenever you want to, you could talk to this person at 10 o'clock at night, or you can talk to them at 4 o'clock in the morning. That was just wonderful. That was great. And I would say, oh, I'm sorry if I woke you. Oh, no, that's okay. I'm here. Talk to me. And for somebody to do that rather than say, yeah, I really need to get my sleep, and you're really bugging me. But for somebody to accept you, what you do in that, I think that's good for them.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate your time, Vi.
Yeah, I hope this helped you. Really, truly, I hope it did.
It does. And I'm going to put it out and hope that it helps a lot of other people. But thanks again. And
Sure. If there's anything else I can,
Okay.
if there's anything else you need from me, just, email me and I'll get back to you. And I have found somebody that I love, and I think that it's going to work out really great. So I'm happy as hell. So thank you.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I hope things work out for you too, sooner than later. Yeah, God's there. He'll help. He'll help.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a
Thanks,
good rest
sister.
of your day.
You too.
Okay. See ya.
Bye-bye.
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 I'm grateful that Viola was so open about who she is and what she went through. I hope this created a greater understanding for you about who can be targeted and what to watch out for. And I can't stress this enough. They are out there right now scrubbing every internet site to see if they can find you. Yes, I mean you. They want you to fall into their clutches. I don't want anybody else to fall prey to these tactics. Thanks for watching. See you next time on the Romance Scam Rebellion.